The spaceport was always loud, full of noise, rushing steps, and voices speaking in 100 different tongues. Humans, aliens, traders, guards, machines, all mixed together in one place. For most people, it was nothing new. But for him, today, felt strange, like something unseen was waiting to happen. He had just arrived from Earth, carrying only a small bag on his shoulder. The crowd pushed against him as he tried to find the right terminal. He was tired but calm, moving slowly. That was when he saw her. The alien girl stood out from everyone else. Her skin glowed faintly under the white lights of the port. It was not bright, but soft, like moonlight on water. Her eyes were large, shining with an unusual silver color, and her long, dark hair almost touched her waist. She was not dressed in rich clothes, only a simple cloak, but she carried herself with pride. Still, there was something fragile about her. Something hidden in the way she held her hands close to her chest. He did not know why, but he could not look away. She looked lost, like she did not belong to the crowd around her. She walked slowly, as if afraid someone might notice her. People rushed past without care. Some aliens even hissed or muttered when they saw her, like she was nothing. He frowned. To him, she seemed more human than anyone else in the port. The moment happened so quickly, so small that no one else noticed. She was about to step through a sliding door, carrying her bag awkwardly. He was right behind her. Without thinking, he reached forward and pushed the door open wider, holding it so she could pass through first. It was a simple act, something every decent man on Earth would do without a second thought. But she stopped. She froze in front of him like she had been struck by lightning. Her eyes widened, staring up at him. The bag slipped from her hand and fell to the floor. Crowd moved around them, annoyed, but she stood there, not moving, not blinking. He felt awkward and tried to smile. "Go ahead," he said softly, nodding toward the open door. She looked at him as if he had spoken the words of a god. Her lips trembled. Her chest rose and fell quickly, almost like she could not breathe. Then, without warning, she stepped through the door. Her gaze still locked on him. When he let the door close behind him, he thought it was over. Just another small act of kindness. But she did not walk away. She waited. Right there, just outside the door, she stood staring at him. When he came closer, she whispered something in a tongue he did not understand. Then she tried again in broken human words. "You chose me." He blinked. "What?" Her silver eyes softened, and she pressed her hand against her chest as if to keep her heart from breaking. "You choose me." He shook his head, confused. "No, I just held the door." But she shook her head back, more fiercely. She pointed to the door, then to herself, then to him. Her voice was still broken, but the meaning was heavy. "In my world, only chosen. Female gets this. Only bond. Only mate. You did this for me." His heart sank. He realized something was very wrong. The girl suddenly bent her knees, lowering herself in front of him. In the middle of the rushing port, she bowed her head, trembling. Her long hair fell forward, hiding her face. She whispered in a voice filled with both fear and hope, "I am yours." People began to notice. Some aliens stopped to stare. Whispers spread quickly. He felt his stomach twist. What had he done? He had only held a door. But to her, it was something else, something sacred. He tried to lift her up. "Please, stand. You don't understand." "I didn't mean but when." He touched her arm. She gasped, her eyes filling with tears. And she clung to his hand like it was the only thing keeping her alive. "I am yours," she repeated, louder this time, as if to tell the whole world. A group of her people appeared. From the crowd, their eyes burned with judgment as they looked at him. Some sneered, some whispered, but all of them looked at the girl kneeling before the human. One of them hissed in their own language, pointing at him. The girl answered quickly, defending him with desperate words. The human felt every stare on his back, every whisper pressing against his ears. He wanted to escape, but he could not pull his hand free. She held him too tightly, too afraid he might leave her. His chest grew heavy. One small act of kindness had trapped him in something far larger than he could understand. The girl lifted her face to him again. Her silver eyes shone with both fear and determination. Her voice was clear this time. "You are my bond." And with those words, his fate was sealed. The crowd around the spaceport was buzzing like a hive. Some aliens whispered in sharp voices, others pointed with wide eyes, and a few even laughed under their breath. The human stood frozen, still holding the alien girl's trembling hand. He had no idea why such a small gesture holding a door had turned into this storm. She refused to let go. Her grip was firm, almost desperate, as if losing his hand would mean losing her life. Her silver eyes never left his face. He tried again to explain, shaking his head. "You're mistaken. It was only kindness, just manners." But the girl only tilted her head, her hair sliding across her glowing skin. Her lips moved slowly, carefully forming words she seemed to struggle with. "Manners?" She repeated the word like it was foreign, strange, almost meaningless. Then her eyes hardened with certainty. "No, not manners. Choice. You chose me." Before he could answer, a shadow fell across them. A tall alien male stepped forward. His skin bore the same pale glow as the girl, but his features were sharper, harsher, his gaze full of authority. Others followed behind him, clearly part of the same people. They surrounded the human and the girl like a circle of predators. The tall male spoke in their language, his voice cold. The girl replied quickly, her words tumbling over each other in fear. The human could not understand the details, but he could feel the weight of it. They were speaking about him, at last. The tall male looked directly at him and spoke in rough, human tongue. "You touched the door for her. You touched her hand. You made the claim. Do you deny it?" The human swallowed hard. "Claim? No, you misunderstand. Where I come from, it's only polite. Nothing more." The alien male's eyes narrowed. His jaw clenched as if he could not believe such an answer. "Polite? To us, there is no polite. To us, there is only choice. You showed choice. You showed bond." The girl clutched his hand tighter, her voice shaking but firm. "Yes, he chose me. He is mine, my mate." The words hit him like a hammer. Mate? She truly believed it. And worse so did they. The human shook his head again, his heart pounding. "Listen, I don't want trouble. I didn't know your custom. I never agreed to." The tall alien raised a hand to silence him. "Our custom is older than your stars. You cannot undo it. You opened the path." She accepted. "The bond is sealed." Gasps came from the crowd. Whispers spread faster. Some aliens nodded, as if justice had been done. Others sneered at the human, already treating him as an outsider stepping into forbidden ground. The human felt trapped. Every move he made was being watched. Every word could be twisted to the girl. Finally spoke again, her voice trembling but filled with hope. "You gave me honor. I am not alone anymore. You saved me." Her words cut deeper than anything else. For the first time, he noticed the sadness in her face, the way her shoulders had carried invisible weight before he even appeared. She was not only clinging to him because of custom. She was clinging because she had no one else. He wanted to comfort her, but fear held him back. What if kindness only dug him deeper? The alien male leaned closer. "You may refuse, but no." This stranger, you reject her, you break her honor. A broken female has no place. She will be cast out, shamed, left with nothing. The human's stomach twisted. He glanced at the girl. Her silver eyes were shining with silent tears, begging him not to say the wrong words. She trembled like a leaf in the wind. He understood now. This was not just a misunderstanding. It was a trap built by tradition, one he had stepped into by accident. His action, so small and natural for a human, had become a vow to them. But still he was not ready to accept it. I don't know your rules, he said firmly, but I never agreed to this. Where I'm from, choice means both people agree, not just one, not by mistake. The circle of aliens hissed, angry at his defiance. The girl flinched, fear flashing in her eyes, as if his words alone might bring punishment. Yet the tall male only nodded slowly, his expression unreadable. Then you must face the elders. They will decide. The girl gasped, No, please, don't take him. He is mine. I will not let you. But the guards moved forward. The human found himself surrounded, pushed toward a different corridor of the spaceport. The girl ran beside him, refusing to release his hand, her face filled with terror. He wanted to shake free, to run, to find safety, but when he looked down at her, something in his chest stopped him. Her voice was a whisper, almost too soft to hear. Don't leave me. He had no answers, only questions. Why did their world treat women this way? Why did a door, a simple act of respect, mean so much? And why did it feel like his life had been tied to hers by invisible chains? As they walked deeper into the alien halls, one truth grew heavier with each step. This was no longer just about him. This was about her. And her fate now depended on him. The chamber of the alien elders was nothing like the human had imagined. The walls glowed with pale blue light, carved with strange symbols that seemed alive. The air smelled of incense and something sharper, almost metallic. Tall figures sat in a half circle, their eyes glowing faintly like the girl's, but colder, harder. The human stood in the center, surrounded by guards. The alien girl clung to his side, holding his hands so tightly that his fingers hurt. But he did not pull away. Her fear was clear, and somehow he could not abandon her in this place. One of the elders leaned forward. His voice was deep, echoing through the chamber. You held the door for her. You touched her hand. You gave her honor before witnesses. Do you deny this? The human swallowed, feeling every stare burn into him. I did those things, yes, but not the way you mean. Where I come from, it's just politeness, nothing more. The elder's eyes narrowed. Politeness. No, it is choice. It is bond. To break bond is death for her spirit. You cannot undo what is done. The human shook his head. I never meant harm, but forcing someone into a bond isn't right. Another elder, this one with sharp silver hair, leaned forward. Her gaze fell on the girl. Child, speak. Did he choose you? The girl's voice trembled, but she did not hesitate. Yes, he chose me. He gave me honor. He gave me life. He is my mate. The human froze at her words. She was not lying, not pretending. She believed it with all her heart. The elders nodded slowly, murmuring among themselves. Then the silver-haired elder raised her hand. Then the bond must be completed. The human must breed her. The chamber fell silent. The human's breath caught in his chest. What did you just say? The elder's voice was calm, but firm. Breed her. Seal the bond with life. It is our way. If the bond is not sealed, she is cast out. She becomes nothing. Her bloodline ends. Do you wish her death? The girl turned to him, tears forming in her silver eyes. Please, you must. If you don't, I will be cast away. They will leave me to die. His heart pounded. He had never felt more trapped. What was a simple act of respect on Earth had become a demand for life itself. He stepped back, shaking his head. This is madness. Where I come from, breeding is not a lit's, a choice. Two people must agree. I can't just, but his words were drowned out by angry hisses from the circle of elders. The guards shifted closer, their weapons glowing faintly. The silver-haired elder's eyes narrowed. You insult our customs. You insult our people. You think your way is above ours. The human raised his hands, trying to calm them. No. I just believe in freedom. I believe no one should be forced into this. Not her, not me. But when he looked at the girl, his chest tightened. She was shaking, her lips quivering as she whispered, "If you refuse, they will not only cast me out, they will punish me. They will say, I tricked you. I will have no home, no clan, no life." Her words stabbed deeper than any weapon. He could see that she was not just afraid of rejection. She was afraid of disappearing, of becoming invisible in her own world. For a moment, he wanted to run, to fight his way out of the chamber and escape into the galaxy. But when he saw her trembling hand still clutching his, something inside him hardened. She had no one. And now, whether he liked it or not, he was her only shield. An elder struck his staff against the floor. The sound echoed like thunder. Human must decide. Breed her or doom her. There is no other path. The human's mind raced. If he refused, she would be destroyed. If he agreed, his life would change forever. Either choice was a chain. He turned slowly toward the girl. She looked up at him with desperate eyes, hope and fear mixing in every tear that slid down her cheeks. She whispered again, her voice shaking, "Please, don't let them take me." For the first time, he saw past the custom, past the law. He saw a young woman who had been denied respect all her life. A girl who thought a simple act of kindness was the greatest honor she had ever known. His chest tightened. He still could not give an answer. Not yet. The elders leaned forward, their voices sharp. "Choose now, human." The girl pressed herself closer to him, clutching his arm like a lifeline. Her voice broke into a sob. "Please, I don't want to die." And in that chamber filled with ancient laws and cold eyes, the human realized something terrifying. The choice was not only about breeding. The choice was about whether he was willing to fight an entire culture. For her, the chamber doors slammed shut behind him. The sound echoed through the stone-like walls, leaving the human and the alien girl inside with the elders and guards. The air felt heavy, like every breath carried the weight of judgment. The elder's eyes glowed faintly, silver flames watching every move he made. The alien girl pressed against him, clutching his sleeve with trembling fingers, afraid to stand. Alone, an elder's voice cut through the silence. "Human, you delay. Every moment of hesitation dishonors her. Do you mean to shame the one who calls you mate?" The human clenched his jaw. He wanted to shout that he never asked for this, that he never agreed. But when he looked at the girl, her pale skin glowing faintly under the chamber lights, he saw how her lips quivered. She was terrified not of him, but of them. He knew then that every word he spoke could either protect her or destroy her. "I never meant dishonor," he said firmly. "But in my world, bonds are chosen by both. You cannot demand it like a command. That is no bond at all." Whispers spread among the elders, some mocking, some angry. One of them hissed, "The human speaks of freedom. Freedom is weakness. Choice is chaos. We live by law, not by desire." Another elder rose slowly, her robes flowing like liquid silver. She looked at the girl with cold eyes. "If he rejects you, child, your name is erased. You will be cast." into the wastelands. No one will shelter you. No one will feed you. You will not survive." The girl whimpered, clinging tighter to him. Her nails dug into his arm, and he could feel her shaking. She whispered up to him, almost too soft to hear, "Please, don't let them send me away." He turned to her, searching her silver eyes. He wanted to tell her it would be fine, but he knew lying would only hurt her later. The truth was simple. This world had no mercy. One of the guards stepped forward. His armor gleamed as he spoke harshly. "Human, if you will not claim her, then release her. Let her face her fate alone." The girl's cry pierced the air. She dropped to her knees in front of him, her cloak spreading across the floor like spilled ink. "No, please, don't leave me. Don't let them take me." Her voice cracked with desperation. "I have nothing without you." The chamber grew colder. The elder's gazes burned like knives, waiting for his answer. He bent down and lifted her gently to her feet. "Stand," he whispered. She obeyed, but her tears kept falling. His mind raced. He was only one man, a stranger in this galaxy. Yet somehow he had been dragged into laws older than his own species. He wanted to escape, to run back to his ship, to forget this nightmare. But when he looked at her again, truly looked, he saw not a stranger, but a girl clinging to her last hope. The elders struck their staffs against the floor. The sound was thunder, shaking the walls. "Choose," they roared together. "Bind with her, or let her be erased." The girl sobbed into his arm, whispering again and again, "Don't leave me. Please, don't leave me." His chest felt like it was being crushed. He wanted to tell her she was safe, but the truth was, he was not safe himself. If he agreed, he would become a prisoner of custom. If he refused, she would be destroyed, and perhaps he too. He tried one last time. There must be another way. Some choice that doesn't end in death. The elders were silent for a long moment. Then, one of them leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "There is one path. You may prove your claim in trial. If you win, the bond is sealed with honor. If you lose, she is erased, and you are cast out in shame." The human stomach twisted. A trial. Against who? Against what? He did not even know their rules, but the girl looked up at him with wide, trembling eyes. Hope flickered across her face. "Trial," she whispered. "If you fight, you can save me." The guards stepped closer, surrounding him again. "Will you face the trial, human?" He knew it was a trap. He knew they wanted him to fail. Yet, when he felt her hand still clutching his sleeve, he realized he could not walk away. Slowly, he nodded. "I will face your trial." The elders' voices rose together, echoing through the chamber. "So it is decided. The human accepts. Prepare the trial of bond." The girl pressed her forehead to his arm, tears wetting his sleeve. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You saved me." But deep in his chest, fear twisted tighter. He had not saved her yet. The trial waited ahead. And failure would mean losing her forever. As the guards led them out of the chamber, the human's heart pounded like war drums. The weight of a whole world pressed down on his shoulders. One simple act of kindness had become a battle for survival, and now the pressure was building higher than ever. The trial ground was unlike anything the human had seen before. It was a wide circular arena built from black stone, the walls glowing faintly with strange runes. A high ceiling arched above, and alien torches lit the air with a cold blue fire. Rows of alien faces filled the stands, watching silently. Their silver eyes reflected the light, unblinking, as if waiting for blood. The human was led to the center, guards pushing him forward. The alien girl followed close, clutching his sleeve like a child afraid of the dark. She whispered, "Don't fear. If you fight for me, they will honor you." But he did fear. His chest was tight, his hands trembling. He had no weapons, no armor, no knowledge of their rules. He was only a man from Earth who had made a mistake holding a door. And now the entire fate of this girl rested on him. The elders entered the arena, their robes sweeping across the stone. They sat on a raised platform above the crowd. One of them lifted a staff high, the blue fire flaring brighter. The human has accepted the trial of bond. The elder's voice boomed. He must prove his choice with honor. If he stands true, the bond will be sealed. If he fails, the girl is erased. The audience hissed, their voices blending into a haunting chorus. The girl flinched, hiding half her face against his arm. The human tried to speak. "I don't understand the rules. What is this trial?" The elder's eyes narrowed. "The trial is simple. You must endure. You must show strength, not for yourself, but for her. If you break, she is broken. If you fall, she is erased." The floor of the arena rumbled. A heavy gate opened at the far end, and a creature stepped out. It was tall, nearly twice his height, with pale skin like the aliens, but twisted with scars. Its arms were thick as tree trunks, its claws gleaming in the blue fire. Its eyes burned with rage as it roared, shaking the air. The human's stomach dropped. He had no weapon, no shield, nothing. The girl cried out, "No, please, not this." She turned to the elders, her voice breaking. "He is not trained. He is not one of us. This is not fair." But the elders only stared down coldly. "Honor is not given. It is proven. If he is worthy of you, he will stand. If not, he is nothing." The guards pushed him forward. The ground trembled as the beast took a step closer, growling low. The human's heart thundered in his chest. He wanted to run, to shout, to refuse, but when he turned, he saw her face. Tears streaked down her glowing cheeks. Her silver eyes were locked on him, filled with desperation. "Please, don't leave me. You are all I have." And that was the moment he realized this trial was not about him. It was about her. If he gave up, she would lose everything. The beast roared again and charged. The human barely dodged, rolling across the cold stone floor. Claws scraped against the rock, leaving deep scars where his body had been. The crowd hissed and cheered, their voices echoing like a storm. He scrambled to his feet, breath burning in his chest. He had no plan, no weapon. He had survived. Worse before. He was human born on a death world shaped by struggle. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. The beast lunged again. He ducked low, grabbing a loose stone from the floor. As the creature swung down, he smashed the stone against its arm. The sound cracked through the arena. The beast howled, stumbling back in surprise. The crowd gasped. Even the elders leaned forward, their silver eyes narrowing. The girl's voice rang out, trembling but proud. "Yes, stand. Show them you are stronger than their law." The human's chest burned with pain, but her words gave him strength. He gritted his teeth, dodging another swipe. He moved faster now, using the beast's size against it. Each time it struck, he slipped aside, throwing stones, striking weak points, forcing it to waste its strength. The fight dragged on. Sweat poured down his face, his arms bruised and bleeding. His lungs screamed for air. But still, he stood. Still, he fought at last. The beast collapsed to its knees, growling in exhaustion. The human staggered forward, raising another stone high. But he did not strike. He dropped the stone to the floor and stepped back. The crowd gasped again, confused. The human raised his voice, hoarse but strong. "I will not kill for your custom. I will not destroy life to prove my honor. I stand for her, not for your laws." Silence fell over the arena. The elder's eyes glowed, unreadable. The girl stared at him with wide eyes, her lips trembling. Then, slowly, she smiled through her tears. One elder rose, his staff striking the ground. The human has endured. He has proven choice, not by death, but by restraint. The bond is his. The crowd erupted, half in outrage, half in awe. The girl threw herself into his arms, sobbing with relief. "You did it," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You saved me." But as he held her trembling body, the human's heart was heavy. He had won the trial, but at what cost? The elders were not finished. He could see it in their eyes. Something darker still waited ahead. The arena was still echoing with the roar of the crowd. Some shouted in anger, others in awe, but none could ignore what had just happened. A human, a stranger with no weapon and no training, had faced the trial and endured. And he had done so not by killing, but by refusing to become a monster for their law. The alien girl clung to him, tears streaking down her glowing face. Her voice trembled against his chest. "You saved me. They cannot erase. Me now, you are my mate, forever." He stood frozen, holding her lightly, still trying to catch his breath. His body ached with pain, his arms and legs bruised from the beast's strikes. He should have felt relief, but instead, a heavy weight pressed on his chest. He had won, but not by choice. He had been forced into this path. The elders rose from their seats, their glowing eyes fixed on him. The silver-haired elder spoke, her voice carrying power across the arena. "The human has proven strength. The bond is sealed. From this moment, he belongs to her, and she belongs to him. So speaks our law." The crowd hissed and cheered again. Some spat in disgust. Others bowed their heads in respect. But all of them knew something had shifted. The guards led him and the girl out of the arena. She never let go of his hand, holding it as if it were her lifeline. Once they reached a quieter hall, she looked up at him, her silver eyes shining with something he could not describe: gratitude, hope, and something deeper. Something that frightened him. "You are mine," she whispered softly, "and I am yours. Not because of them, because you chose to stand." He shook his head. "I didn't choose. I was trapped. If I hadn't fought, they would have destroyed you." She tilted her head, her long dark hair falling across her glowing skin. "That is choice. You could have let me die. You didn't." Her words struck him harder than the beast's claws. He wanted to argue, to deny it, but the truth was, she was right. He could have walked away, even at the cost of her life. But he hadn't. They were taken to a small chamber, lit by soft silver lamps. The guards left them alone, the heavy doors shutting with a hollow thud. For the first time, silence surrounded them. The girl sank onto the low seat by the wall, pulling her knees to her chest. She looked fragile now, smaller than she had seemed before. Her voice was almost a whisper. "You don't know what it means. To have someone stand for me, no one ever has. I was nothing before you." He sat across from her, wincing as pain shot through his ribs. "You shouldn't say that. You're not nothing." Her silver eyes lifted, glowing faintly in the dim light. "To my people, I was a weak female, without bond, without power. They treated me like shadow. But then you," she broke off, her voice trembling. "You opened a door for me. Do you understand? No one has ever opened anything for me. And now you fought for me. You gave me life." Her words left him silent. He had never thought a small act, a simple habit of respect, could carry such meaning. He had done it without thought. Yet to her, it was everything. He leaned forward. "Listen. Where I come from, respect isn't a gift. It's normal. It's what everyone deserves. You deserve it. You always did." She stared at him, her lips parting in awe. Slowly, her eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were not tears of fear. They were tears of something softer, something he almost feared to name. "You are not like them," she whispered. "You are better." The silence between them grew heavy, filled with unspoken words. She reached out, her fingers trembling as they touched his hand. "Maybe you think you were forced, but I know the truth. You are mine because you cared, even when you didn't have to." He looked at her fragile face glowing softly in the dim light. His chest tightened. He wanted to pull back, to deny it. But he couldn't, because deep inside he knew she was right. Their bond was not born from law. It was born from Choice's choice to not let her die. Yet before he could answer, the chamber doors opened again. A guard entered, bowing slightly. "The elders summon you. They are not finished." The girl gasped, clinging to his arm. "No, they cannot take you again." The guard's voice was cold. "The trial is over, but the council must speak. There are those who do not accept the outcome." The human stood slowly, his body aching but his spirit burning. He looked down at the girl, who held his arm as if letting go would kill her. He whispered, "Don't be afraid. I'm not leaving you." She stared at him, silver eyes wide, her voice breaking. "Then I will go with you, always." And so, hand in hand, they walked back into the halls of judgment. The bond between them was no longer just words or law. It was real. It was unexpected, but as the doors to the council chamber opened once more, the human knew the danger was far from over. The council chamber was colder than before. The blue flames along the walls burned higher, their shadows dancing like watchful spirits. The human stepped inside with the alien girl at his side, her hand gripping his as if she would never let go. The elders were already waiting, seated in a half circle. Their glowing silver eyes studied him in silence. The air was thick with judgment. The silver-haired elder spoke first, her voice echoing through the chamber. The human endured the trial. He proved strength. He proved restraint. But many among us do not accept. They say he is unworthy. They say the bond is a lie. The crowd of aliens gathered behind the council hissed in agreement. Some shouted in their own tongue, pointing at the human with sharp, angry gestures. Others looked at the girl with disdain, spitting words like shame and weakness. The girl pressed closer to him, trembling. Her voice was soft but desperate. "They want to take it from us. They want to erase me still." The human's jaw tightened. He had fought, bled, and stood his ground. And still, it was not enough for them. An elder leaned forward, his face hard as stone. "Human, speak. Will you remain bound to her, or will you cast her aside? Choose now, before all." The chamber went silent. Every silver eye burned into him. The girl's hand shook in his grasp. Her tears glimmered in the cold light. For a moment, he thought of escape, of running back to his ship, leaving this world and its cruel laws behind. But then he looked at her. She had nothing but him. He remembered her words, "No one has ever opened anything for me." He remembered her trembling voice in the arena. "Please, don't leave me." And he knew. This was not only about her survival. It was about what kind of man he was. He lifted his head, his voice firm and clear. "I will not cast her aside. I will stand with her. Not because of your law, because I choose her." The chamber erupted. Some shouted in outrage, others gasped in shock. The elder's eyes widened, their glow sharp and piercing. The silver-haired elder struck her staff against the floor, the sound silencing the chamber. She stared at him for a long moment, then at the girl, who clung to him with trembling hope. "Then so be it," the elder declared. By law and by choice, the bond is sealed. The human and the girl are one. The crowd roared again, some in anger, some in reluctant respect. The girl let out a sob of relief, burying her face against his chest. Her voice shook with joy and disbelief. "You chose me. You really chose me." He wrapped his arms around her, holding her close. "Yes, I did." But even as he said it, he felt the weight of what he had done. His life was no longer his alone. He had tied it to hers forever. The council slowly rose, their robes sweeping like shadows. The silver-haired elder's eyes softened, just for a moment. "Human, you are bound now not only to her, but to all of us. Remember, your honor is hers. Your life is hers. Fail her, and you fail us all." The human nodded, his heart heavy yet firm. "I won't fail her." The elders left, their voices fading into the distance. The crowd slowly dispersed, some hissing in anger, others whispering about the strange human who had defied their ways. At last, the chamber was quiet again. Only the human and the alien girl remained, standing together in the center. She lifted her face to him, her silver eyes glowing softly. "I thought I would die today. I thought I would be erased. But you gave me life. You gave me choice." He brushed a tear from her cheek. "You deserve choice. You deserve more than what they gave you." Her lips curved into a trembling smile. "Then I will walk with you. Wherever you go, I will go. I am yours not because of them, but because of you." He felt the weight in his chest lighten, just a little. For the first time, he realized something: this bond was not a prison. It was a promise. One he had chosen, and one he intended to keep. They left the chamber together, stepping into the night of the alien city. The stars above glimmered like 1,000 watchful eyes, and the streets stretched out before them. The future was uncertain, full of dangers yet to come. But as she held his hand tightly, her silver eyes glowing with trust, he knew he would face it all, because one simple act, holding a door like a gentleman, had changed everything. And from that act, a new story had begun.